Joining us now is a man who knows Harvey Weinstein quite well, his attorney, Arthur Aidala. Mr. Aidala, thank you so much for coming back on the show. Just immediately off the top, your reaction to the court overturning this?
Well, to be quite candid, I was pleasantly surprised, but surprised would be the first word. Look, we all know that in society, when something gets so hyped up, it takes on a life of its own, and that's kind of what happened here at the trial, but nobody really thought that the Harvey Weinstein verdict was going to get reversed. So I was surprised today when that happened. Then I spoke to Mr. Weinstein, and he called me and told me that someone had walked into the facility where he was at and just handed him a piece of paper. It was the very initial news reports that just said Weinstein verdict reversed. And he called me, and he could not have been more gracious. He said thank you more times than I could imagine. You know, he was like slightly emotional, but I think he was overwhelmed. I think he was almost in a state of shock as well. We had been given misinformation that the decision wasn't coming out until May. As far as I know, we're still in April. So there was that part of it. But Linsey, what really made me happy for the criminal justice system really in America, which is really being challenged right now, is that, you know, Harvey Weinstein was the poster child for a international movement, and that caused the trial judge to really throw out the rule books that we're all entitled to under the United States Constitution.
The New York Court of Appeals gave a scathing opinion. How common is that to see that kind of rebuke of a trial lawyer? Of a trial judge.
It's right. It's the trial judge. It's not that common. I mean, the rulings in this case were literally rulings no one had ever seen before. Had they been seen before, the prosecution would have cited them. Well, Judge, what this judge here did was not so unique because they did it in this case and that case. It had never been done before. Basically, Harvey Weinstein was charged with assaulting 3 women. The judge allowed an additional 4 women to testify. So instead of our legal team confronting 3 women, we confronted 7 women. And that's something that's unheard of. And basically the judge said, oh, the jury needed that to help them understand. And the court said, no, no, no. All that was doing was bolstering. Those 4 women were just bolstering the testimony of the other 3. It was basically just showing Harvey's a bad guy. And we can't convict people on rumors because that's all they were. They were never charges. Those people never brought criminal charges against Harvey Weinstein. They just came there and they had an axe to grind. And many of them got a check out of it as well.
But what about MO? If you're trying to prove, look, this person has a routine pattern of behavior, and that's why this is admissible to hear from these other witnesses.
Correct. But that was not the case here. That's typically when identification is an issue. Harvey Weinstein never said he wasn't fooling around with these women. He just said, I didn't force them to do anything. I mean, he always proclaimed his innocence, not that you got the wrong guy, which is when MO would come into play. He just said, yes, we had relations, but there were no complaints, and some of these complaints came up 10 years later, or even more. So MO comes in under certain situations, but in this situation, the judges ruled, even because now it's a retrial. It's not like they threw out his case. We got to go back and start from the beginning. But the judge says there's no reason to have any of this Molyneux, any of these extra witnesses come in to testify.
Arthur Aidala, big day for you and your client, Harvey Weinstein. We so appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.